Hello and welcome to episode number 53 of Girlstreamers. Girlstreamers is a podcast bringing you the Girlstreamers that you know and love. Girlstreamers is a community that supports and promotes girls that stream. We are a bi-weekly podcast and we'll be introducing you to some amazing girl gamers and allow you, the viewer, to get to know some of your favorite streamers. My name is Nymphadora and I will be your host during this interview, and with me tonight we have Awesome0wl. This is normally a live podcast, but this evening is a pre-recorded cast because I participated in the Broadcaster Royale PUBG tournament today, and I was unsure of whether or not I would be able to complete everything and finish before we had the podcast, and I did not want to risk that, so we recorded this ahead of time. So there will not be any Q&A with the Twitch audience at the end. I do apologize, but as always, we will be available for download on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. All right, serious face. I'm just kidding. What's up? So this is a pre-recorded podcast as stated in the opening. Thank you so much, Awesome0wl, for meeting with me, and I do apologize for miscalculating the game tournament and stuff, but woohoo! I'm in a game tournament the day that this is being posted, so we'll see where I end up. But enough about me. How are you doing? You said you were saying in the pre-show that you had foot surgery recently.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. How is that recovery going?
It's going all right. It's harder. Like I said, I had my left foot done already once back in November. But I feel like my right foot is harder because it's my dominant foot.
Oh yeah.
And so like my left foot's my non-dominant foot, and so it's like kind of hard to balance on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like to do stuff, so it's a little harder this time, and like I'm a really social person, so I love talking to people, and like being home alone a lot has been a little hard. I do have a daughter, but she goes to preschool like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I've been home alone more than last time. So.
No, daughter, no. Wow.
Yeah, but it's been better lately.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
I am, phone. Yeah, I'm so prepared. We're profesh here. Totally profesh on the Girlstreamer podcast. So are you having to stream from the couch, like in the living room? Like, do you have everything set up? Or are you able to go stream in your streaming area?
I can't get in the streaming area because I have to keep my foot elevated, and I just don't have enough room between the ottoman that I use and the desk to keep my foot elevated high enough. So it's just not, I can't get it in there. So I actually haven't streamed since my surgery, but I'm working on getting back to streaming this.
Oh, okay.
On my I have a PlayStation, so I can stream. I have some games I can stream.
Okay, that would be
on there.
Bad then. Yeah, just hang out in the couch and just, console it up.
Yeah, and I am a creative streamer as well. So if I can, I've been thinking about how to get my camera in here so that I can crochet while I'm just sitting here, and I can stream that because I have done crocheting and needle felting and stuff. So
what you need is like a GoPro rig, right? Where you put it on your head and it just looks down at your hands, and then that's what you got right there, right?
Yeah,
like
that would be perfect.
Just like have one look at your hands, and then the other one kind of stick out a little bit, and then look at your face.
Like look at my face. Yeah. That's feasible.
Right? That wouldn't be too heavy. That shouldn't be too heavy.
No.
That shouldn't be too, well, it depends. Like, so my husband had this, for the longest time, this rolling laptop table for his desk. So
Mhm.
that might be something that you could use for those streams. I think it
Yeah,
was like
I
20
have a nice
bucks.
bedside table here, so
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah,
That'll be
that's what the
cool.
camera's hooked to right now.
Nice. Well, hopefully
Yeah.
that works out. I know that's got to be frustrating. My mom had a hysterectomy 12 years ago, 12 or 13 years ago, and that took her out for like 6 to 8 weeks, and she got into so much trouble too because she can't sit still. Like, you know,
Yeah.
she cannot, she can't, she just can't do it. It drove her
Mhm.
nuts. She ended up painting the whole house.
Oh my gosh.
She ended up getting this massive bruise, you know, in down there
Yeah.
in the area where they took everything out, and in the lower ab, because she was putting her feet down, like using the recliner, and she would push the recliner down to get up, right? And
Oh
so that ended up
no.
bruising her. So the doctor made her stay out an extra 2 weeks to
Oh
recover
man.
from what she screwed up.
Just from not resting. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So make sure to rest.
Yes, it's important to follow
Doctor's
their
orders
instruction.
are important.
Yeah,
So,
for
well, I
sure.
hope that the the recovery goes well. Everything, you know, does what it's supposed to do. It was fusing bones together, you said, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Science. I find that stuff
Yeah.
so fascinating. So, well, let's just jump into the questions. How'd you
All
come
right.
up with your screen name?
So, I feel it's kind of silly, but I love owls and I think they're awesome. So I just kind of put it together to come with the awesome owl.
That's cheesy, and
Um,
I love it.
it's amazing. It's but like, so everything that, you know how you can name all your devices, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything I have is like named, like my phone is mobile owl, my Kindle is like literary owl,
That is great.
stuff like that. Yeah. So like that's just kind of how I came up with it.
I love that. So, who did you draw your actual artwork for your owl?
I didn't. No, I found it on like the free
Oh,
stock
okay.
art stuff. Yeah.
I love it. I love
Oh,
it's
thanks.
so good. It was a good find. You
Yeah.
should commission one of our girls to make some more stuff for you.
I really want to. I really want to. I need some
Um,
emails though.
I highly recommend. We got some great artists in the community. I had Zilla Noises did all of my artwork.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, both Zilla and Kira Cub have done artwork for Girlstreamers,
Oh, cool.
and Carice does most of our artwork. When she doesn't have time, she'll commission one of the ladies. But yeah,
Awesome.
remember those sub badges are coming out in August.
I know.
Actually, when this comes out, the sub badges should be out.
There we go.
Wow, that is holy cow! That is like, man.
Isn't that crazy how fast it's gone this year?
Yes, we're in the
Yeah.
middle of moving everything.
Mm.
We're moving cross country, so my brain
Oh
is
gosh. Wow.
currently fried.
Yeah.
Hence why we're pre-recording this. I'm just not paying attention to things. So, where do you come from? You said you're Eastern time zone like me right
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm. I'm in Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm right in the Midwest.
How do you like it?
It's it's a state. I've lived in Indiana my whole life, so I'm kind of used to how it is here. I live in a city now, so it's not as rural as I used to live, so it's kind of nice.
I grew up around farms and cows.
Yeah,
I grew up
that's kind of
in
yeah.
I grew up in the
Yep.
dairy capital of this state. So you can imagine the lovely noises I got to hear growing up.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
I
you heard
bet.
a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that Indiana was in the Eastern time zone.
Most of it. There's a couple pockets where it's central because we're the best state.
That is the weirdest
That's so strange.
thing. I have okay. That's yeah, because
Yep.
I would have thought it would be like either central or just standard
Nope,
time zone.
we're
That's.
Eastern.
I mean, that makes stuff a little bit easier for you, right?
Yeah, yeah, I like Eastern time. I'd rather be on Eastern time. I'm glad I'm not in the central area, but
So what's the first game that you ever played that got you into the gaming world?
well, so I grew up with older brothers. They're about 5 years older than me, so I was exposed to video games pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched them play a lot. The first one I think I played that I really remember is Super Mario 3.
Such a good one. With the
I know,
raccoon,
right?
the flying
Yeah.
raccoon. Yeah, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So
And the
good.
different worlds and yeah, and wow, the flute that would
Oh
take
yeah,
like you
yeah,
could
yeah.
jump to worlds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
that's the
think the
first
music
one.
in that game is actually really good.
I
I
love
love
that
that
game.
music.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
excuse me. Sorry.
oh, you're fine.
Um so that's the first one you remember actually playing?
Yeah. I think that's the first one I can remember like playing myself.
Did
Like
you ever
what the
beat it?
first one I don't think I ever beat it.
Me neither.
No. I only know if like I think we only ever get up to a certain world and then it's like I get frustrated and stop playing. But
Mhm.
my husband's probably beat it, I'm sure. But
Same.
because
I'm
we,
the
we
same
had the
way.
Wii. Yeah. We had the Wii and we downloaded it through the virtual console
Oh
and
yeah,
played it
yeah.
that way. Yeah. And but I haven't played it for
I love that about the Wii. I don't does the Switch have that option or
you they do have the Nintendo shop. I don't know how many retro games are on though. I just got a
okay.
Switch, so I'm not sure.
Well, you'll have to tell me about that because I eventually want to Switch. I do actually really like that console. I think that kind of redeems Nintendo in the console stuff because, like, I
Yeah.
liked Wii U, but they just didn't for the Wii and the Wii U. They just didn't have the games to come
Right.
out the with the console. But Switch has so many games coming out for the
Oh,
console. It is awesome. Like I'm
yeah.
loving the games that are coming out for the Switch. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of redeemed Nintendo a little bit.
For sure. And the way that you can change either playing on the TV and then switching to playing on the
Oh,
screen is just it's game changing literally. Like I know this sounds funny to say, but like it's been a lifesaver for me lately.
that's so cool. Yeah, I can imagine
Yeah.
because you're unable to get super comfortable, I would imagine sometimes, so you're having to
Yeah.
adjust. I mean, I've had surgeries where I've been unable to actually move.
Yeah.
And if I don't have a TV, how else am I going to entertain myself?
Right.
Yep. Totally been
And it's
there.
been yeah, it's nice too because like I said I have a 4-year-old daughter. So it's nice I can if she wants to watch something and I get bored, I can just switch on to, playing handheld and I can play what, whatever
Oh
I have.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's so
So that's
cool.
yeah, it's really nice.
I yeah, I had the choice of a PlayStation 4 or a Switch for my birthday and I ended up with the PlayStation 4. And I don't regret it because I want both.
Yeah.
I want both.
Right.
I would have been happy with either one, but I'm really happy with the
Right.
PS4.
Yeah, I love the PS4 too. Like I have no problem with that either.
Have you seen that the Switch is doing that thing where you can hook up with friends and play 4-player on Mario Party?
I did see that.
Have they come out with
Uh,
that yet, or is that coming out
I
with the game, like that option coming out when the game actually comes out?
I'm not sure, honestly.
I think that is so cool because you'll be like, say you're on a plane with a couple of friends and you both have your Switch, right? Like, you'll be able to play Mario Party on the plane. That would be so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's, I think that's a really rad thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's, like, I have a 2DS, which I love, and I still play it on a regular basis, but, the Switch is, like you said, it is definitely a game changer. And my question, like, when they came out with that, I was like, are they going to get rid of, like, the Game Boy system? Is this essentially the new Game Boy system, and it's a combination? So I don't know. They're still producing 3DSs and 3DS games. So
it's a different experience than the 3DS, though, I feel like, or the 2DS.
Oh, really?
Just because, because you have the two screens on those, and I feel like some games really utilize the two screens, like,
right.
You know, so it's a little bit like, to me, it's a little bit different, and it's a little bigger than those. So I think it's it's a different experience.
That's cool. That's cool to know. So, how long have you actually been streaming?
So I've been streaming since March of this year, so not a whole long time.
So you're still a newbie.
I am.
So what got you into streaming then?
Well, a friend of mine, he knows that I really like to do my creative stuff. So, like, I do calligraphy, watercoloring, like fiber arts and things like that. And he's like, you should do a creative stream on Twitch. And I was like, oh, he kind of explained it, and I was like, that sounds really fun. So I just kind of dove in and, researched everything, kind of how to set up, and, we talked about it, and he kind of helped me, and that's kind of how I got started.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen some of your calligraphy VODs, and I love calligraphy. I think it's just such a beautiful art form that is a lost art form. And I reread Harry Potter every summer. It's just like a tradition. It's become a tradition. And every time I read it, I think, because, you visualize the movies when you're reading the books. And so, like, certain scenes, I'm like, oh, they're writing with whenever they talk about dipping their quill in ink, I'm like, I've always wanted a quill and ink just to write notes to people, but nobody writes notes anymore. So
there's a whole community out there of just like, like finding a pen pal that you can write letters to.
See,
just so you can do that.
I want to. Well, my friend. One of my good friends, I was like, we were talking about this the other day. It's funny you said this. We were talking about this the other day, and I was like, I need somebody to write to. Well, and she said, well, since you're moving, you can just write me letters, and I'll write you letters back, and then we can start writing with ink and quills. Like, done.
Do it. It's awesome. And it looks like it'd be really hard, but it's really not that difficult to pick up, I think. But that could just be because I'm to it. But there's a really good website called The Postman's Knock.
Okay.
And she's got a bunch of tutorials. Some of them cost money, some of them are free, but it's a really great way to get started.
Oh.
Because she has little worksheets that like show you how like to make the thin and thick strokes, and like the downstroke is the thick stroke and the upstroke is thin, and it goes through and it shows you each letter and you practice it. And it's really good.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have to check this out. You're going to have to link this after the
podcast.
I will.
I definitely will.
So cool. Yeah, I need to watch more of your calligraphy stuff because I love, like, it's soothing to me as well. It's like that ASMR kind of deal because I watch a lot of ASMR stuff. And it's just, I love watching it. It's like, it's oddly satisfying is what it is. Watching it just come out and just, looping, and you could be drawing nothing and I'd still like watching it.
Just watch it.
Yeah. So, what is the most embarrassing thing to happen to you on stream so far?
So far, I think it's just when I forget to turn my mic on and I'm just talking and like nobody can hear me and they're like, Mike, and I'm like, oh, forgot to turn my
All the time. I mute myself all the time. I forget to hit record sometimes for the podcast. And I'm like, well, we just got to do all that over again.
Oh
Sorry,
gosh.
guys. Yeah, don't feel bad. I do that too.
Right? That or when I like do something stupid in a video game and somebody like corrects me or something. That kind of is embarrassing.
You will get used to that. You will get used to that because what I have found is people actually, I mean, you and I, you know, you were talking about you grew up watching your older brothers play video games. I am the oldest, but my brother and I had to share consoles. And so we had to get used to watching each other play video games. So, you know, both of us grew up in that household of watching the video games, right? And so Twitch to me feels like that. So as you get into it more, you will start feeling more like you're just watching your brother play video games, or your brothers are watching you play video games. And people won't really they won't really care, and it will be a lot less embarrassing than it is right now. I promise.
That's good to know.
Now I'm like, I just did that same thing over and over again and screwed it up, and people will be like, ha ha ha, you suck, and I'm like, I know.
Yeah, I'm usually like, yeah, I'm terrible. I don't.
But I mean, isn't it? It reminds me so much of like growing up with my little brother, which we're 6 years apart. So it was just me and my brother, and my husband, who is almost 2 decades older than me, didn't quite understand Twitch when I first started, and when I explained it to him that way, because he's not that he didn't understand it. He's like, I don't understand what the appeal is, and I was like, I was like, this is why. And he was like, oh, okay, that actually and it like clicked to him. And so every time anybody who doesn't quite understand the appeal to Twitch or YouTube or anything like that, that's how I explain it to them. I'm like, well, think about it. Did you grow up watching your siblings or whatever play video games, blah, blah, blah. So that will become you'll feel less and less embarrassed the more you stream.
That's good to hear.
Because I kind of felt that way at the beginning as well, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of like my little brother watching me, but it's my turn always because it's my stream, and I don't ever have to give him the control.
Sure.
So, what's your most memorable moment? So
far? Probably when I was rated by Girlstreamers, actually.
Wasn't that after was that after a podcast, or was that after?
I think so. I think it was after a podcast because it was a Sunday night.
Then it was after a podcast. Yeah.
Because it just happened to still be on, and I was like, I got a big raid, and it was really exciting.
I feel so special to be part of your memorable moments. We try and raid a different girl each Sunday night, and I think I remember I'm the one who I said, look, I'm gonna raid her because you had just joined like that week, I believe. Yeah,
I think so.
So that's why you got raided, because you had just joined, and I was like, hey, let's go raid a new girl. So
that's awesome. Yeah,
because weren't you playing Stardew Valley?
I love that. Yeah, we were playing the multiplayer for the first time.
Yes, I stayed in that stream for way longer than I should have because I needed to go to sleep. But I love Stardew is one of those chill games that you can just sit and play or watch all day. Have you played any more? Have you been playing any more?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I play a lot.
I still haven't played multiplayer yet because because I've gotten into so many other games since multiplayer came out that I just haven't had a chance to get back to it. I kind of miss it. I miss
it. It's addicting to me. Like
it is.
It's addicting.
It's right up there. It's like in Minecraft. It's like Minecraft for me. I'll go through these like moments where I'll be gung ho playing a whole bunch of it, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta take a break, and then I'll just move on to another one. And right now I'm in a big Minecraft like phase.
Oh yeah, like
so
you're in a phase now.
I'll probably switch over to Stardew Valley phase in a few months.
I know that feeling.
So did you know that there is a mod to let you grow marijuana plants?
I did see that. I saw that. Yeah.
My husband told me that, and I said, "Oh my god, that is hilarious!"
Yeah, I thought that was so funny.
I want
That's
that
so
mod
good.
just to see what it looks like.
Right?
Oh my god, that's so great. Just have a pot farm, man.
All right.
We're in California. This isn't Stardew Valley, it's California. So, and okay, on top of that, we know you like to play Stardew Valley. What other type of games do you like to play in stream?
On stream, I usually do more casual like games, like I play House Flipper a lot.
Have you gotten addicted to that game too?
Yes.
I've seen so many people playing that game.
It's weirdly addicting. It's so weird, but it's so good. I love it.
I like watching people play that game.
Yeah, it's fun I know, it's like fun to watch people, but it's fun to play, and like it's something satisfying about like fixing up this house. Like it's like you can just click to clean up the trash and like click to paint.
Yeah.
It's like I can do all this great stuff in like a few minutes. And it's like,
why can't I do this in real life?
Why can't it be like this in real life? Yeah. Exactly.
I love sim games though. Those games. I've been addicted to American Truck Simulator, which is right on par with House Flipper. I think they're like of that same like simming. You're literally driving a truck. That's what you're doing. You're making deliveries.
I gotta try that game. That sounds amazing.
You might like it if you like simming games.
I love sim games.
Might like American Truck Simulator. You should check it out.
I will. I think I will.
I bought a wheel this weekend because I've been playing it so much. All right.
Oh gosh, that's awesome. I love it.
So what other games do you play in stream?
So stream, I did Kingdoms and Castles recently, which was really fun.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that one.
Yeah, that one was really good. And then some retro games. Like I started to play Earthbound, but I used a emulator for that. And then I lost my save state, and I got frustrated, so I stopped playing because I went through all of it and then like went through a lot, quite a bit, and then lost the save state, and then I was like, oh.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. So I was like, gotta figure out. We have a Nintendo, mini Nintendo Classic, Super Nintendo Classic. Excuse me. So I just need to get a word.
Elgato,
the Elgato's. Yep, the game capture. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to start doing Switch games too.
They're actually I will say I've got the Elgato HD60. It's a simplified version of. There's a HD60 and then there's another one that's a little bit more pricey. The HD60 is really, really simple, and it's really good for the newer consoles. The older consoles, not so much. So, but if you've got the updated Super Nintendo version, you should be fine. Like, I actually have an old Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
So I have to figure out how to work all of that. And it does.
I have a friend who does that. He does all of his retro gaming is all of the old equipment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
It's great. Yeah, I can't. We have the old consoles, but I was just like, I don't need to add that to my. I don't need to add something else to go wrong, you know,
Yep.
because that would happen.
So, you are a creative and a game streamer. What is actually your favorite thing to stream?
Oh, out of all of it, probably the fiber art are my favorite. So like needle felting and crocheting. Because I get a lot of people who say they really like that because it's relaxing for them to watch. And I kind of like the idea that like I can provide some relaxation for people. So
there's actually quite a large community in that particular art form. We've got quite a few girls and girl streamers who stream crocheting and knitting, which I didn't realize how popular it was until I saw the streamers. And then you go into their channels and they have, you know, a very active chat, and it's like, wow, that is amazing. And one of the girls who she's been doing, you know, real life stuff, and she's slowly coming back, her name is Bastet Jen. She does a lot of needlepoint stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I've seen her. She crochets as well, and she does a lot of needlepoint. And she did the last one I saw. She did a Deadpool needlepoint thing.
Oh, cool.
And I've always wanted to get into. Do you do that, like the actual?
I don't do needlepoint. I do needle felting, which is really different. It's more like needle felting is more like sculpting with wool.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look this up real quick because I have no idea what that is. Needle felting. That is. Oh,
yeah.
I have seen that before. That is
like I know like people like are like I don't know what that is, but I'm like once you see something that's needle felted, you know seen it before.
So, do you make what all have you made doing the needle felt stuff?
So I've made a Mario mushroom.
Nice.
A Bulbasaur. Which my husband has on his desk. A Pikachu for my daughter. Like a little robin bird.
So needle felting, for those who are probably listening, is essentially you create like the little, like just little miniatures of things. I mean, you can make bigger ones, I would imagine, whatever size you want, but it's always some kind of like stuffed animal type creation, essentially. Am I correct? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So that's a good way really to put it. That's that is some talent right there. That is.
It takes.
I didn't realize that's what that was called. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty much like sculpting almost, like just with a needle.
So do you have patterns, and are there patterns that you follow?
Not really. I just kind of look at a picture of
girl.
I know. I just kind of like I looked at a picture of Bulbasaur and kind of like at different angles and tried to get the right proportions and stuff, which is really hard to do. I need to practice some more. I haven't done it for a while, but just because I've been laid up for a little while.
I mean, that's a legitimate excuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is super cool. Yeah, you should do some more of that.
Yeah, I will.
I need to go look at your VODs.
Yeah, those are fun to watch too. And you can count how many times I poke myself with the needle.
Nice. That's me. I sew. I create costumes and stuff. And my followers like to laugh at how many times I burn myself with a hot glue gun. So, and I always draw blood when I'm dealing with needles. You're not creating right if you don't draw blood. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly.
It's literally blood, sweat, and tears.
Yep.
That's so cool. All right, I see. I'm a big VOD watcher because I don't always get to catch everybody live.
Mhm.
especially because I create a lot of the videos, like with the Streamer of the Month videos and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm always lurking in people's channels. I'm always the one person watching your VODs, just so y'all know.
That's awesome.
So I'm gonna have to go look at some of your needle felting VODs, because that
Yeah.
stuff's really cool. I didn't realize that's what that was called. So yay,
Yeah.
nice to learn something today. That is so
And I've
rad.
heard that it's relaxing to watch that too. So
I can imagine. I can
yeah.
imagine. See, I like putting on, especially the creative stuff like that. I love putting it on in the background and then doing my work, or if I want to just play a chill game but have somebody to just watch in the background. Those
Yeah.
kind of things are the best thing to just lurk in. For me
Mhm.
personally, I love it. I have
I
found I
agree.
watch less TV and more Twitch
Yeah.
nowadays.
Me too.
So what's your favorite game? Do you have a favorite game?
I My favorite game I think of all time is probably, well, series is Half-Life.
Oh, that is a good. Ooh, those are good
Yeah.
games. I have played
Mhm.
those games. They
Yeah.
are
They're my favorites. It's
freaking
just
head crabs.
such a good, yeah, such a good mix of like FPS and story,
Yeah.
because I love games with a good story line,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Half-Life has like a really great storyline.
What's your favorite game right now? Do you have one?
Right now,
Stardew.
probably Stardew. Yeah, it's true.
I mean, there.
It's
What little story is in Stardew? It's actually not terrible.
No, it's not. It's really not. And like I finished a lot. Like I finished the community center and stuff, so like I've kind of progressed the story a little bit
I
in
have
that way.
not finished the community center yet. I kind
Yeah.
of, that takes a long time.
It takes a long time. It takes some really concentrated, like you
Yeah.
have to you have to want to finish it
And
and
I really
like
want to go back and
really do
finish it. So now you're making me want to go back and finish it.
it.
Dang it. I'm about to start
It's
playing
really
Stardew
fun.
Valley again. Jeez.
I know, right?
So, would do you have a main game, or are you kind of a variety streamer since you kind of go back and forth between the creative and the gaming aspect?
I'd say I'm a variety gamer. I don't think I really have a main game that other than Stardew. Then that's what I usually fall back on if I'm not sure what I want to play. Um,
I'd say that's a
yeah,
fallback game. I don't know that I would say
yeah.
that's because some people have a main game that they play all the time, and that's like what they're
Hmm.
like Ninja. His game is Fortnite. He rarely plays
Right.
anything else. Um,
Hmm.
and there's nothing wrong with that. But and some people have like two or three main games, and then some people like us just kind of play whatever they feel like.
Yeah.
So
I feel like if you don't like what you're playing, it's hard to stream it. I feel like,
it
you know
is.
what I mean?
I agree. Like sometimes I have found that when I'm streaming something and I'm not into it,
Hmm.
my people, like my community, the people in my chat, they pick up on that very easily.
Right.
So sorry, I left my
Oh,
water
you're fine.
downstairs, so
Oh no.
I usually have water, and yeah, I drink water constantly all throughout
That's
the
good.
day because
Yeah.
it's so hot here and muggy and humid that yeah, it's the only way to keep cool. So what games are there any games at all that you're excited that are coming excited about that are coming out?
Well, let's see. Since I got a Switch, I'm literally looking forward to Smash Brothers coming out.
Oh, so you're a
Yeah,
Smash fan.
I
Okay,
am.
okay, all
I do.
right.
We played
What'd you
that a
think about
lot.
Ripley?
Hmm?
What'd you think about Ripley, the
I'm not,
new character?
I don't know. I have no opinion
I said, you know what? That's a fair point. I actually watched
yet.
the E3 coverage, and the
Oh
game
yeah.
looks solid. It
Yeah.
looks well done, well put together. I personally am not a massive Smash fan, but they're fun. Like, I'm not like my brother and his friends about it. I'll get it and I'll play it, but I'm not like, oh, let's do a tournament.
Right. Yeah. Like, I'm not. Yeah. It's just like it's something fun for my husband and I to play, and like, and it brings back memories of playing with our friends when it, when we had it, when we'd play in his basement and stuff. So like, it's kind of a nostalgia trip.
It is. I'm loving like all the characters that they're bringing. Like they're bringing all the characters back. The maps that they're putting in they look really, really good. So this is gonna be a massive game.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be cute. That's why I'm really excited for it.
I think it's a good one to be excited about. So what's one game that you would want to have a reboot or a remastering of, if any?
Let me think. Let's see. I was big on the N64 when I was,
Girl, me too.
That's the first console I owned that was mine. That wasn't like it wasn't my brother's or like it wasn't anybody else's. It was just mine. So I think I would love to see another GoldenEye.
That game was so good.
It was so much fun.
GoldenEye and what was the other Mission Impossible one?
There was Perfect Dark. I remember that was similar. And I don't know what the other one. If I can remember another one.
Was it GoldenEye where you had to keep putting the face mask, where you had to keep changing your faces?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, I can't think of it. Okay, all the missions.
I'm not sure what it is.
Impossible N64 games. I'm looking this up right now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Mission Impossible. Is it just straight up Mission Impossible? Is that what it is? Maybe just Mission Impossible N64. I guess so. Yeah, it's just Mission Impossible. Okay, I loved that game, and I loved GoldenEye. Those are both very fun Mission Impossible games.
I would love to see like a multiplayer GoldenEye.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because we used to play like the one-on-one a lot with my brother. I would play a lot, and it had like proximity mines. Like you could do proximity mines only, and like really like set up traps and stuff. I just remember all those, like Golden Gun where you could kill somebody with one shot.
Oh my god! Yes.
Yeah, so it's like it had so many different things you could do. It was just so much fun.
I wish that they would do like what they did with the mini NES and SNES and do that with the N64.
Oh, that would be cool.
I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Because the N64, in my opinion, had some of the best games that Nintendo ever had.
Yeah.
I don't care if the graphics are not updated. I will play it with the bad graphics because they were cool back then.
Oh, they were good back then, yeah.
Mario 64, oh my god, that shit was my jam.
Ocarina of Time was my favorite.
Yep. I love Ocarina of Time. Mario Kart, is always. I think
Mario
the original
Kart,
Mario Kart is hands down still the best one. Although the new ones, they're not bad. The Wii U one was. It's okay. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, but after a while, the Wii U one is like, okay, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And the Mario Party games on the N64 were the best. I like Mario Party. Nostalgia. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Donkey Kong. Oh my god, I
Oh, Donkey
loved
Kong.
Donkey Kong so much. That game was my jam. Oh my god. Yeah, and you had to go buy the stupid Rumble pack for it
Oh,
to.
yeah,
Do
that's
you remember
right.
that? Yes.
Yeah, I
We
remember that.
had to go to the local video store before Blockbuster and rent it from the
Rent it.
video store because we couldn't afford the actual Rumble pack
To buy
ourselves.
the Rumble pack, right? Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. So Nintendo needs to get on that. You know that they paid
Yes.
for the trademark to keep the trademark and all of that stuff up to date, right?
I didn't.
Yeah. So last month or like a month and a half ago, we actually talked about it on the Cosmic Bulletin. We saw that they had went and paid like the copyright fees and the trademark fees and all of that stuff. Now it could be just to keep the N64, but I kind of have a sneaky suspicion it might be to make like a mini N64 like they did with the other retro consoles, because they sold those sales were really good.
Yeah, they're hard to get a hold of.
Yeah. People would buy them and then sell them for double the price on eBay.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
that was really frustrating, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they only made so many, so if they do this for the N64, I will make sure that I have the money to buy one, because I am not gonna pay double on eBay.
Oh right.
Screw that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, speaking of nostalgic games, is there a game that you would like to play again as if it were the first time?
Probably Ocarina of Time, I think.
It's such a fun game.
It's such a fun game. It was the first game that I beat on my own without my brother's help.
Really?
So
I never beat it.
Oh, really?
Never beat it.
Oh. Yeah, so that's like the first game that I was like, I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna do it by myself. I don't need any help. So
nice.
I would love to play that again. Just rediscover all of it.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was like I remember in exploring that game, that world was so big in the beginning. It was one of the biggest games I had ever played that had, I mean, technically it's not open world, but it felt, because you had to go in so many different places. Like, it was a lot to explore back then.
Yeah, it really was.
So what's the oldest game in your backlog that you haven't beaten?
Probably BioShock.
Oh, okay.
If in the backlog of games that I haven't played, like in my Steam, probably BioShock. Okay. And it's one that I've always wanted to beat, but I just haven't.
So have you played through it a little bit? You just
a little bit. I just haven't beat. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Maybe that should be your next stream. Is finishing BioShock.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that.
Like BioShock Wednesdays or something like that.
Yeah.
Just play through. I did that with Red Dead Redemption. I mean, I'd already played through it 100 times before, but I made it like my Girlstreamer stream, so I streamed on Mondays and just played Red Dead Redemption. And because I was trying to 100% it, I went like 2 months playing the same game. I never 100%.
That's pretty amazing. Oh, that would be a hard game to 100%.
It is. It is.
I
so
love
hard.
it. I love that game, but it's a lot of game.
It is. Speaking of open worlds, that's a big world to explore.
That's a huge world, yeah.
And I am so ready for the second one.
Me too. Yes. I forgot that was coming out. That's exciting.
I'm going to have to go pre-order it soon. I'm going to pre-order the digital because there's a bunch of extra stuff that will come with the digital copy. So you should go look and see what they have, because they've got a lot of really cool. I mean, obviously they have like the $100, $200 stuff. I'm okay without that. But if you look at the digital stuff, they've got some extra missions. For the $80 version, they've got a couple extra missions, and they have different levels. So you get like a couple different horses, and yeah, so some pretty sweet stuff with the special downloads.
Cool.
So, yeah, you should
look into that.
So is there a trend that you would like to see change in the gaming industry? For example, less microtransactions, more female protagonists, more or less battle royale, just kind of anything in general. Doesn't have to be any of those particular things. Just, is there a like something that you've seen in the industry that just is too much or too little of, that you would like to see happen?
I think, like, out of all of those, I would say probably more female protagonists. I do think that it's getting a little better than it used to be. But it would still be nice to have more representation for different, not just female protagonists, but also people of color represented in games in more positive ways. Yeah. And also, like, I also am not a huge fan of microtransactions, but
I think like the way Fortnite does the microtransactions, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it is a free game, right? Heroes of the Storm does the same thing. But if I pay for you, I shouldn't get the same. I shouldn't have to pay more, in my opinion. To make the game more fun.
I feel like I don't think you should have to pay to advance in a game.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I think quite a few mobile games do that.
I mean,
which
I
I'm
know
not a fan of.
Mobile games, their whole thing, that's how they make money. But like, I'm playing through Hogwarts Mystery, the new Harry Potter. It's the Harry Potter game. I have spent a little bit of money on that just to progress faster, but it doesn't progress super slowly. It's and I guess because I've gotten used to the mobile platform, that I've been able to be patient and wait on this stuff. And I'm now in year 4, and the story is to me captivating enough to keep me coming back. So I recommend checking it out if you like mobile games.
Yeah,
and if you like
I'll
Harry
have to
Potter,
check that one out.
And you don't have to pay to progress. You can pay to progress faster, but it's not a requirement.
That's good.
So I'm with you on that. Like, I hate that concept that I want to play better, so I have to pay more. It's like, no. Play better because you're just more skillful, not because you have a better weapon. Like, that's not...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No.
Not gonna play that game. EA, come on.
Right.
Speaking of EA, have you seen all the memes lately with the EA memes?
I don't think so.
God. I'm
so out of the loop.
I'm gonna have to share some with you. I saw one the other day, and it was something like it was a coffin, and then it was like an EA coffin, and it was, a nice coffin over here, but made by anybody else. But EA, you have to pay extra for the handles. You have to pay extra for the body. You have to pay. I'm like, that's morbid and hilarious, because that's totally EA.
because it's accurate.
That's so awful, but so funny. So, yeah. I feel like I have to sneeze. Okay, I guess it went away. All right, so we're gonna take things a little bit more serious. So get your serious face on. Who inspires you to be the woman you are today?
I thought about this a little bit. And I have some great friends who are really active in their communities, and they affect a lot of change through the work that they do, in helping, people who are maybe um, like less fortunate, um, or have come to the United States and have nothing, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll go and they will help them by, doing like a fundraising drive, or just finding them clothes and like
That's
place to
cool.
stay and stuff like that. So like they're the ones that really inspire me to be the woman I am now, to be active in my community, to be involved, and to affect change.
That's so awesome. Holy
Yeah.
cow. That is, we need more people like that, especially in the uh, volatile, um, not to get super political, but
Right.
um, the U.S. right now is in a really volatile moment, and
Hmm.
it's no, regardless of what your politics are, nobody's actually sitting down and thinking about humanity at this moment on
Right.
either side. Um,
Right.
and and I say either side because we are a two-party, you know, policy
Hmm.
here, and it sucks because we need more people like you and your friends because we need people to care. We do.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's awesome. That's good to
Yeah.
hear. Uh,
Yeah, they do a lot. Like, I say they do because I haven't been able to do a lot lately. But they just it's just amazing to watch them, you know, what they do in the community. It's really great.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So what do you like about being a part of Girl Streamers?
I love that it's a community of women supporting each other and boosting each other up and helping each other succeed. I think it's rare to find a community where you will be so accepted, especially in the being a woman in the gaming community.
Mm-hmm.
Can be kind of difficult sometimes. So I feel like having a group of women in a place you can go where you're accepted and you are encouraged is amazing. And that's what I really like about it.
How long have you been with Girl Streamers?
I would have to look, but I think I found you guys pretty soon after I started streaming.
Okay, so you've been with us for a few months then.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I know I knew you've been with us for a little while. I just couldn't remember exactly when you joined. Especially when you said you just started streaming. I was like, dang, she must have joined not long after she started streaming.
Yeah.
So then, what is it that keeps you so passionate about gaming and just the community as a whole?
I think the communities that I'm involved in Twitch are what keep me passionate about gaming. Because I have a lot of I've been really lucky to find communities within Twitch that are really open-minded and compassionate and loving communities that like really um, are just like accepting of everybody. So I that really helps keep me invested in Twitch and wanting to keep playing games and streaming and stuff.
I'd have to. Sorry about like blowing my nose. I muted myself
Yeah.
while you were talking, so I didn't record myself blowing my nose, but you heard it.
Okay.
It's the dust from moving everything around.
Mm.
It's just like I keep seeing like my nose just get redder and redder, and I know it's
Oh
because I
yeah.
need to sneeze, but it won't come. So I'm like,
Yeah.
let me just try and blow my nose.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, you're
But
fine.
yeah, I think I have to. I think that's what keeps me coming back as well is the fact that are people there are people that it's the people that bring you back. It really is
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
especially if you I mean we are social creatures. Human beings are just they're social in nature. You know, there are the anomalies who are not social, but in general, we are social beings. So when we find people who are like us, uh, it keeps us coming back. And when you find a good place that isn't toxic and is, you know, helpful and kind and generous, it's really hard to leave something like that. It does keep you it does make you want to come back. I mean, that's what made me stay around for as long as I've stayed around. Because Twitch, when I started out, wasn't really, for me, it was just, it was a grieving process. Because I was going through a lot at the time. And I just kept coming back because of the friends I've made. And now, 2 years later, I'm still on a podcast. Still doing a podcast. So, yeah, I think you're right. Like, that's definitely what keeps me passionate about it. So, I understand. So what is your greatest challenge or obstacle that you've had to overcome in your life?
I would probably have to say my postpartum anxiety that I had after my daughter was really debilitating for me. It was just the worst that I've ever felt in my life. And like I have had a general anxiety my whole life, but this was just a whole other level of anxiety that I was not prepared for.
Yeah.
Like in regards to just having a baby, you know? So it's like I think that's probably the biggest obstacle, because I'm still dealing with the anxiety depression left over from that.
So was it both depression and anxiety, or was it more anxiety than it was the depression?
It was more anxiety than depression, but there was definitely a depression in there.
So what, I'm just curious, and if you know, let me know if I'm, you know, you don't want to talk about it, but what, like, anxious wise, like, what was it that just kept you on the edge of your seat? You know, because I deal with anxiety and depression myself, and so I can understand like what anxiety brings. Like, what is it on top of what normal anxiety is? Well, we say normal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what was it that just kind of kept you sitting on edge there?
Well, so I started having intrusive thoughts really bad in regards to my daughter.
Yeah.
So like I was just super scared that I was going to be the one that hurt her somehow. So like it was so hard for me to even hold her for a while until I was
my sister-in-law
medicated.
My nephew was born. Yeah.
Yeah. It was the worst. Like it was just for like I wasn't eating for a few days, and like it was just because I was just so anxious. You know how when you get anxious or depressed, like you lose your appetite.
Oh yeah.
So like I wasn't eating, and so I wasn't like, it was the worst. I felt sick and like faint all the time because I wasn't eating and I was anxious. I didn't want to move off the couch. Like it was just like stuck in a ball of anxiety. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is, I can't imagine being at a higher level than the crap I already have.
Right? I didn't think it could get worse than what I had.
That is awful. That is horrible. I know when watching my brother and sister-in-law, both of them, because neither one of them grew up, like neither one of them ever had experience with children at all in general. So this was me. I've always been very nurturing, so I've always, you know, taken care of somebody's kid, right, growing up. So I know how to change diaper. You know, I'm just like a freaking mom at this point with how I can do stuff. But when the nephew was born, they were so gentle about putting clothes on, you know, like they were like gently placing him down. Like I'm just sitting there watching, like, what are you doing? We don't want to hurt him. I'm like, he's fragile, but not that fragile.
Not that fragile, right?
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, look, let me show you how to put that shirt on. Dang. They're like, you're gonna hurt him. I'm like, no, it's okay. But I think that was more they just never been around babies kind of deal.
Right.
But
Which
my
I had,
sister-in-law.
I had a sister. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I had a sister who's 10 years younger than me, so I know what it's like to be around kids and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was ready. It's just I wasn't ready for the anxiety.
You were ready, but not really.
Right. Exactly. I think my brain was like, nope, you're not ready.
You thought you were ready, but your brain was like, ha ha! Fooled you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to get through that. I mean, she's 4 now, you said?
Yep.
Man, that's awesome. Is this your only child?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want any more?
Yeah. No. No. I'm a one and done person.
You know what?
Like,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
yeah. I love her to death, but I don't want to. I'm not a baby person. So
Gotcha.
It was good when she started walking and like could start, like telling me what she want and stuff. So I'm okay now. I'm good.
Yeah, my nephew is, when he was born, I know I'm not a parent, but if I ever become a parent, God, the feeling, it's, I know I didn't birth this kid, but I have never loved something so much as I do this kid. Like, when he smiles at you, like, you just I'm tearing up thinking about my nephew. I love this kid so much. So I was telling my mom, and she was like, that's how a mom feels. It's like,
how a mom feels.
See, I don't need kids. I just need to be an aunt. I'm good. I don't need kids. I get the feeling with the nephew. I'm okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my sister-in-law, she struggles with bipolar disorder, so she had to go off her medicine when she was pregnant and stuff. So she's still like in that whole recovery thing. She didn't go back on the medicine, which I think some of the medicine she was on she didn't need. I think she was a little over medicated.
Okay.
But I do think she needs like the antidepressant medicine and stuff. Because you can still see that there's still a little bit of that postpartum. And I know postpartum, I mean, doesn't it last from just a few days to years after the baby?
Years.
Yeah.
Technically it's like a year after, but like they say sometimes like once you have it, it won't go away. Like you'll just always kind of have depression.
And I know a lot of it comes with that you just got rid of something so intimately from your body, and now there's like a physical hole. Right? And there's so many emotions and hormones and crap that it's
mixed
all the hormones in with that hole.
And I think for me, and I don't mind talking about it because I think it's something that is not really talked about a lot.
Right.
And I think it's becoming more normal to talk about it, which is good. But for me, like, I feel like I just wasn't prepared for the amount of work that it takes to have a child. Like I was sitting and we were just having a bad day. Like she was just not wanting to sleep unless it was on me. And so like I was sitting in a chair and I was just like, I felt like I was stuck underneath her for like all day. And like then like that's when the anxiety hit, and it's like, oh, this is it. Like this is what my life is now. Which at the time you're like, when you're in the middle of it, doesn't feel like you'll ever get out of it. But I look back now, it's like that's only a short time. But when you're in the middle of it, you're just like, it
Right.
feels like it's just going to last forever and you'll never have your life back.
And when you're in that moment, that's when that's a bad moment because that's
Yeah.
when bad decisions can be made sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, that's just kind of,
it's just
luckily,
it's a natural
yeah.
thing to feel that that's gonna just with regular depression and anxiety. You know, when you're in that moment, it just feels forever.
Hmm.
Um, and the thing is, like, I don't think they ever really tell you what it's like to physically have a child, nor do they ever tell you what it's like to raise a baby after you've had a child. It's
Yeah. That's the
way
thing.
different in those beginning
Oh, different.
stages. Like, there's so much progress when
Yeah.
a
There,
child is
it's,
growing from, you know, birth to 16 essentially, even though there's still
yeah.
more after that. Like, that's usually when you're done raising them and then they're raising themselves after that.
Right. But yeah, there's like, you don't realize how much you can lose yourself
Yeah.
in in that moment, in that, in those, especially the first 2 years, I think. And I think that nobody tells you like how to grieve for the life that you had before you had kids.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, my mind just exploded with that thought because, like, you're right. It is a
Yeah.
loss. It's
Mm-hmm.
totally a loss because your life is one way before having a kid, and then your life is another after having a kid, which is why I decided
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want kids, because I like my life right now and I know that it's going to change.
Right.
And but I didn't think about it in that, like, yeah, you're essentially, I would not say no to kids. I love kids, but I'm not physically, I don't have to explain myself. Why am I
You
explaining
don't. You
myself?
don't have to.
Jesus, man. But you see, this is the problem with society. I feel like I have to explain
You
myself.
have to feel, yeah, you feel like you do.
But I that is such a perfect way to explain postpartum depression.
Hmm.
That is, I mean, it's a simplified version because there's so much more that goes into it,
Oh
but
yeah, and everybody's journey is different.
right.
Everybody has a different,
But that's definitely a big,
yeah,
a
but it's a
part of
huge
it,
part of
because your life changes so much when you have a kid. Even if you are just an aunt or an uncle to a kid, like,
it. Hmm.
it changes and I mean, like, I'm seeing how my just watching how my he's 18 months, so he's still,
Oh,
a
okay.
baby.
Oh yeah, so
Seeing
still,
how, my brother and sister-in-law, their lives change and stuff. Like, if we want to do anything with them, we have to wait until after a certain time because the baby has to go to bed, because they
hmm,
don't feel like they can watch the baby and also, like, play D&D at the same time, even
yeah.
though I
Oh, I
think they
get that.
could. But they're also first-time parents. So yeah, it's like
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that, but man, that makes
yeah,
me see my sister-in-law. Man, I bet both of them are dealing with that big
yeah.
time.
I think sometimes women have it a little more just because they
Oh
have,
yeah.
just, you know, but definitely I think both genders have the same, you know, I used to have this life and now I have this life and it happens so fast. You
It
kind of get
does.
whiplash. Yeah.
Because you're still essentially parentless until the baby actually comes out.
Hmm.
Like, even if you're pregnant, you're still parentless because you can just go wherever you want to go.
Yeah, you still do, mostly do what you want and
It's a lot like when you're single and then bam, you get married and it's like, "Oh, wait.
now
Yeah,
I
I'm
have
kind of stuck in this now, aren't I?"
right.
But on a much grander scale with a
Yeah.
child.
With a child, yeah. You have a lot more responsibility there.
Man, I didn't even, yeah. Yeah. Jeez. Thank you so much for sharing that journey with me.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
That is something I think that we should talk more about, because we should normalize that, because that's a lot for any person to go through. And, you know, we're taught to not talk about what we're going through, that, you know, anything related to your uterus you don't talk about, right? Like, you're not supposed to talk about your uterus. And yeah, that just, I can't fathom postpartum, because I've never had a kid, but you just helped me understand it a little bit even more. So
I'm glad.
So if you could give your past self 1 to 2 words of advice from the wisdom and experience you have gained up until now, what would they be?
Stay strong.
Some good words of advice.
Yeah.
Especially after what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Yep. It's very appropriate. So what trait of yours are you most proud of?
My positive.
You cut out there for a second.
Oh, my positivity.
Your positivity.
Yeah. Like, I'm a generally pretty positive person, even though I have, you know, anxiety and depression, but I'm generally a very positive person.
What's that quote? I think it was Robin Williams. Generally, the people who want to make the world smile are the ones who are the most depressed, or something along that line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a very true
I didn't
statement.
even think of that. That's pretty true, yeah.
Because you don't want other people to suffer and go through the shit you've gone through.
Exactly, yeah.
So what's your greatest insecurity then?
Probably, like my physical appearance, my weight.
Girl, you are beautiful.
Thank you. It's still hard, though, especially not being as active as I used to be with my foot surgeries lately. It's just made me feel a little, ugh.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
When I had gallbladder surgery, it just, like, ruined all not that my abs were that great to begin with, but when you have any kind of abdomen surgery, it just ruins any kind of work you've done. And I still haven't recovered. I just kind of gave up. And that was in 2014, so I feel you. I also hate these. Girl, don't.
I know the feel.
I think you're beautiful, and that's all that matters, is my opinion. So, just so you know, nobody else's opinion matters. So, seriously, I think you have a great smile, and I love your eyes.
Oh, thank you.
So have you ever been trolled?
You know, I've been pretty lucky in that I haven't been trolled too much. I really just had one person ask how much I weighed one time right before my stream ended. And that was like the worst I think I've had. I've been really lucky.
That's good.
Yeah.
Have you been able to stream much this summer because of the surgeries, or have
you
kind of...
Not a whole lot.
Okay. So you've missed troll season. So just to kind of give you an idea. So trolling kind of happens. We have a theory on how trolls work. Not to say that it's all children, but it's definitely people who are in school, because it always seems to have an influx during the breaks. Summer breaks, Christmas break, fall break, spring break, always. So, you know, I mean, and that doesn't mean that, you know, there are 40, 50-year-old trolls.
Right.
But the bulk of trolls we've noticed are 12 to college age.
Okay.
And at the beginning of the summer, really nasty, like, gotta have mods, like, on par. And we've noticed this just by, me and Kink Nightmare, just by watching, like, Twitch chat, and how, like, Girlstreamers, especially when your name is Girlstreamers.
Mm-hmm.
You're
I could
gonna,
only imagine.
right? So,
Yeah.
like, watching the stream team and stuff like that, we've kind of found over the last 2 years this fluctuation of trolls. So,
Okay.
summer is the worst because it's the longest break. The beginning of the summer, right after school lets out, it is awful. Then it kind of lulls because they all go to summer camp. You still have a little bit more than normal, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not as bad. And then right before school starts back up, it shoots back up because they've all come back from summer camp or they're trying to get in their last little bit before school starts. And then
Right.
it's fine for from like August to roughly October-ish. And then it starts to kind of creep back up again, and then you've got Christmas break. And then
Okay.
Christmas break is rough. And then
Mm-hmm.
it start like it just I kid you not. Watch it for the
That
next
is,
year and you'll be like,
yeah.
"Yeah, you're right. There's some weird shit going on here." So we think that troll season correlates with school seasons and
Okay.
how they work. At least in the US here. I mean,
Yeah.
seasons and all that stuff is different in the EU, but in the US, I'll guarantee you 85% of trolls are school age between 12 and college.
That makes that's a really good theory. I like it.
I mean, granted, it's just a theory. There's no way to really prove it.
Right.
But now you're going to keep an eye on that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So, for new people getting into streaming, you yourself are new. Do you have
Mm-hmm.
any advice for anybody coming in to streaming?
I think my biggest piece of advice would be like, don't worry about your viewer count and just have fun playing the games or creating things or whatever you're doing because people will find you. And if you're not like focused on like because sometimes like I feel like when I'm streaming, if I'm like streaming and I see like nobody's watching, like I get kind of down on myself.
Right?
So like I just shut off the viewer count and I don't watch it. And I just kind of do what I do. And then um I feel like I have an easier time relaxing and getting into what I'm doing.
It is stressful. And it can. We were actually talking about this on the Cosmic Bulletin the other day, or yesterday, because Twitch is coming out with the creator camp thing to help new
Oh yeah.
streamers.
Mhm.
And one of the things they were talking about is they want to help you with your mental health and stuff. Well, that kind of calculates into the burnout and the mental health that people stress out from because they want to meet these goals, they want to attain these goals, they want to everybody's dream is to be a partner, right? I
Right.
don't, personally, I that's not my dream because I have an outside job. I just enjoy doing it and I enjoy the community that I've become a part of and created with my own group of people. But
Mhm.
most people, I mean, being partnered would be awesome, right? Like
Right.
that would be great.
Mhm.
But at the same time, that is hard to get and people have lost I don't want to say lost their minds, but people have just their mental health has just gone down the drain focusing on stuff like numbers. And I think that we have to remember that that is not what that shouldn't be your main focus if you're streaming because it will
Mhm.
stress you out if you do, because seriously, if you do that for months and months on end, you're going to start feeling it, your community is going to start feeling it, and then you're going to start losing viewers and losing follows because nobody wants to watch that.
Right.
So that's really good advice.
Yeah.
Do you have any cool tattoos, scars, or piercings?
Well, my lip ring isn't in right now. I think I forgot to put it back in after surgery. I have a lip ring. But I have like 5 tattoos, but my favorite one is on my leg, and I got it after Carrie Fisher died. Um, it's an outline of Leia holding a blaster, but it's got a galaxy uh, print style inside. So it's got like the stars and like the galaxy colors and stuff. So that's my
Nice.
favorite one.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have to send me a
And
picture of that because that sounds
I will.
beautiful. Did you know she's gonna be in the Knights one?
I did. Saw that.
They're using footage from The Force Awakens that was recorded and that they didn't use in the previous films of her
Okay.
for certain things. So I'm
That'll be
excited.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how that turns out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a huge
So
Star Wars.
me too. I love it. So if there was one person, past or present, that you could have dinner with tonight, who would it be and why? This could be fiction, nonfiction,
Okay.
dead, alive, whatever. Whatever you choose.
Um, Going off the last thing, probably Carrie Fisher.
I feel
Just
like
because
she'd be a fantastic person
she'd be
to have
like
dinner with.
super interesting and like really nice and really funny. I saw a panel with her. Well, not a panel. Like, yeah, it was a panel discussion at like a Comic-Con one time, and it was wonderful. She's so funny and so smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have HBO?
Don't.
Dang it. Okay.
Yeah.
There is an HBO special about both Carrie Fisher and her mom. And it's a documentary about them.
Okay.
Fantastic documentary.
I might have to find a way to get HBO to watch.
I don't remember the name of it. I will get you the name of it, and because you may be able to find it somewhere on the internet.
Yeah, on the internet.
It is such a good documentary. Man, I know people are going to want to know what that is, so I might as well just go ahead and look that up because that's going to bug me now. So we have the internet. We have Google right here. So let's go look at this. Carrie Fisher. Yeah, I was heartbroken about her death.
That was a rough day.
Where is it? I know. Okay, that's all 2007. How about not actress, but self? Here we go. Probably under self.
Yeah.
Dang. That's it. Bright Lights, starring Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds. It's a TV movie documentary, and it's done by HBO, and it is just you can tell that they are daughter and mom. Like, they're just both fantastic women, and people go through crap. You can't, just she had some shit she had to deal with.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a beautiful documentary, so I highly recommend it.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
And because she's open about her struggles, she tells you, she's like, look, I deal with this. This is the crap I've had to deal with my whole life. Yada, yada, yada. Like, she is flat out open and honest and does not hide the shit that she has done and gone through. And that's why I look up to her, because she never shied away from, the crap that she goes through. And she never, she owns up to, she's like, I'm not perfect, but here's what I deal with. And here's why I made these decisions, in the past and in the, all of that stuff. So, I actually have 3 more questions for you.
Okay.
So, what is an ideal weekend for you?
I would say, yeah, it's good. That's hard. Like, I don't know why that's so hard for me. Like a mix of something adventurous. Like, I used to hike a lot, so I like hiking.
Oh, I love hiking.
And then maybe something relaxing, like sitting on a beach or something. Like, that would be perfect.
Go hiking and take an hammock and just string it up, and there you go.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, it would be, actually.
Yeah.
So, what are you most thankful for?
This is gonna be super, but I'm most thankful for my husband because he's been amazingly supportive throughout everything. Like with surgeries and like the postpartum, and then also like he's really supportive in me doing like Twitch and like
That's
streaming
awesome.
and stuff. So he's always helping me and encouraging me with that. So
That's
um,
amazing. Oh,
yeah,
speaking of your creative stuff, I lied. I've got another question. Before I
okay.
ask you your final question, do you ever sell the things that you create on your streams?
I haven't yet, but I have considered it.
You totally should.
I
You
should.
totally should, because you make some good stuff.
Thank
And then you can, sell your stuff in the Girl Streamer Discord because you're a Girl Streamer
you.
as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good
artist.
idea.
Because you're an artist. So, my final question for you is, what is your strongest passion outside of streaming?
Um, hmm, probably photography.
Really?
Yeah, I've done photography since I was 17, something. So, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So, is it just a hobby, or do you like to try to do
Well,
it for work, or?
I have done it professionally. I've shot weddings and portraits and stuff. But I haven't in the past like year or so. Just because things, life gets in the way and job and stuff like that. But yeah, I love.
That is awesome. I did not know
Yeah,
that about you.
yeah.
Man, that's
It's
cool. I got to know
it's
so much about you. You're
yeah.
such a rad
Thank you.
chick. This is why I love doing
Thanks.
these podcasts. I get to know so many
Yeah.
awesome people. So, we're going to finish this out. Where and when can we find you streaming?
So right now it's kind of up in the air with my surgery. But it should be around 8 o'clock, Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
Yep. And it's Awesome Owl with the O is a 0.
Nice. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining me. And
Yeah.
we
Thanks for having
will
me.
have this up on August 5th.
All
So,
right. So, this was great.
this has been a Girl Streamers podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Girl Streamers is partnered with Loot Crate, Simple Jerky, UN Racing Chairs, Glomtom, Sennheiser, and now affiliated with Humble Bundle. Links to all these amazing partners and affiliates are down below, so please feel free to click. Thanks, guys, for all your support. Please follow us at Girl Streamers on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and player.me. Don't forget, when you follow us on Twitch, we are under Girl Streamers. It is twitch.tv/Girlstreamers_Inc. Don't forget that _INC. If you have any questions or would like more information, you can visit our website at girlstreamers.com and contact us through there. You can subscribe to us on Twitch or GameWisp, and don't forget, when you subscribe, you do get access to our Discord channel, and you can buy some super cool gear in our online shop at designbyhumans.com/shop/girlstreamers. Don't forget, we are featuring Sartsicorn. She won our Design by Humans t-shirt contest this last month, and so she is our artist feature at the moment. Go check out our latest t-shirt. You can find Awesome Owl on Twitter at AWESOME0WL and on Twitch at twitch.tv/AwesomeOwl. That is AWESOME0WL. Our next podcast will be August 19th with Shanbot right here, same time. This podcast is a part of the Two Lazy Dogs Media Group and the Girl Streamers community. Encourage, support, grow.